Well, good afternoon. It's Wednesday here in Phoenix. It's a beautiful 82 degrees. The winds from the southwest are 5 miles an hour, and this is an awesome day. And I hope that wherever you are, your day is equally as awesome as you are. Today I'm talking about how to lose that last 10 pounds. I get people asking a lot of times, how do I lose that last 10? They do well at the beginning. They made progress. Things are moving along. But that last bit is what's tripping them up. They can't get rid of that. You know what I'm talking about. That's just finishing what you started. I know I've been there. It's difficult. A couple things you can do. The first thing I want you to know is that it will be difficult. Sometimes people start off and things are easier at first. And almost anything works when you first start working out or start a new program. It's easy. You're strolling along through it. But like with any endeavor, as you get closer to the end, it becomes more difficult. That's just the way the progress takes place. If you're running a marathon, your last 2 miles or mile or so are going to be the most difficult ones. The first mile will be like easy. Hey, this is not bad at all. And that's what we think. We expect that the whole journey is going to be like that initial start. No, it becomes more difficult. So know, first of all, that's going to be difficult the further you get into the journey. And you've got to up your game. So it's going to be difficult. Tell yourself, I can do this. And keep that attitude that if it was easy, anybody could do it. But you are going to make it through this. So get that mindset right. First, know that it will be difficult. That when I'm working out, and I know that in order to make progress, I have to push a certain number of repetitions. So if I'm doing 12 reps of an exercise, my first 2 or 3 would be no problem. I got this. If I'm doing 12, but number 6, a little bit, I got it. Number 8, when I get to number 9, it's a little tougher. Now I've got to really focus to get these last 3. Number 10, effort. Now it becomes, at a certain point, it shifts from being a physical endeavor to a mental, kind of even an emotional point where you got to push from within. Now the 11th one, I've got to push. I got to really push hard. Now the defeating thoughts come in. The defeat of can you do another one? And a lot of people will stop there because it's so difficult. But that's when you got to kick it into overdrive and go, okay, come on. I can do this. It really becomes a mental game. So you got to get your head into it as far as being focused and know that it's difficult, but you can do this. So that's the first thing. Know that it's difficult. And secondly, is hold yourself accountable. Sometimes we tend to like to not put deadlines on things. We tend to kind of want to do it at our own pace. Hold yourself accountable, which means know that if you set something out there, it tends to make it where you've got to do it. If it's optional, we tend to give ourselves that option to just kind of tap out. Oh well, I'll try better. I'll try again next time. But you got to hold yourself accountable. Maybe you say, I'm going to do this by summertime. I want to get in shape for summer. Or you're going to go on a vacation. You want to hit the beach or whatever. You want to be beach ready. But find some kind of deadline, something that'll make you want to stay in it. So that being accountable is so important. A goal without a deadline is just a dream. If you don't have a deadline on your goal, it's just a dream. It's just a wish. I'm hoping that I can do this. But when you put a deadline to it and you're accountable, it will happen. Next thing you may have to do is hire yourself a trainer. You may hire a personal trainer. Sometimes we've gone as far as we can go, or you have gone as far as you can go by yourself. You may need help. You may need someone to help give you that professional guidance and inspiration you need to get you to that extra point that you've never gone before. Remember, if you're trying to accomplish something that you've never done before, you've got to either do it. If you can't do it yourself, get with someone who's gone there, and they will be able to push you and show you what it takes to get to that level. And once you know the intensity that it takes, and the training, and the concentration, and the focus, or whatever you'll learn, now when you get to that place again, you know how to do it. It's easy. It's just walking through the park. So you may need someone to guide you through this first point, getting through it first time, this first 10 pounds. Once you do it, you got it. It's yours. Another thing is, don't trust your scale. Sometimes people look at the 10 pounds and they want to measure their progress by pounds. Remember, pounds and the weight scale is just one measure of your progress. I don't count it so much from the weight scale. I look at it a lot about my appearance, how my clothes fit, I have different types of clothing. I'll take pictures of photographs, in different types of attire or in different poses. And that lets you know how you're doing because those photographs don't lie. Those pictures do not lie. So get that. And also get a good, know the landscape of your body. I mean, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you had your shower, start looking at the landscape of your body. You should be able to tell when you've lost a little bit here. You can see a little bit leaner there. Like in bodybuilding, a lot of guys are always flexing in the mirror. They're pumping and posing because they're looking for that progress. It's not so much vanity. They're looking at the tricep. They say, can I see more cuts here? Am I seeing more definition? Are the abs coming in? So that constantly knowing the landscape of your body is very important when you're trying to make progress and not so much always relying on a weight scale because sometimes you may gain muscle. You may have lost inches, but you have gained muscle, so your body weight may not fluctuate that much, or you may even gain a little bit of weight while you've lost inches. And the idea, I think what you want to do is you want to lose fat, and you want to create that right shape that you want. And that's not so much reliant on just, weight, your body weight. Clean up your diet. That's what we know we should do, right? Clean up your diet. Remember, cut out the crap. You remember the crap foods? The C is carbonated beverages, carbonated drinks. Cut all of those out. If you really want to be serious, you'll cut out all carbonated beverages, even Coke Zero or diet stuff. Even though we think it's an advantage to it, no, it's just as bad as your regular stuff. It's just flavored differently. It has different chemicals, and all those chemicals causes different things within your metabolism that can slow you down or impede your progress. So cut out the crap. The C is carbonated beverages. The R is refined foods. Cut out all of the refined foods, whether that's breads, cakes, all those things that go through it refined, like the sugar and all that stuff. It's refined. It's not a natural food. It's not what it looks like in nature. Cut out refined foods. The A is artificial sweeteners, colors, flavors, preservatives. That's got to go. All those artificial things that you eat in foods have got to go. And then P is all the processed foods. That's the cold cuts, the processed meats, anything that goes through a long ingredient list. When you look at your food that you buy, if it has a long ingredient list, that's a processed food. And the longer the ingredient list, the more processed it is. Whole foods are what you should be eating. Like what's the ingredient list for strawberries or apples or cherries or broccoli or cauliflower? What's the ingredients that goes into that? There's none. It's one food. It's one food that goes into that. That's what your body craves, whole foods, things like that, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. And if you eat meat, then lean cuts of meat, like that. So that's what you're going to. So limit your carbs. Limit your carbs. Sometimes we crave carbs. I crave carbs. I love carbs. I was just like sometimes just a plate of carbs. But I know that the carbs beyond a certain point are not good. We only need so many carbs to really be healthful during the day. I mentioned before, I was eating over 400 carbs per day, 400 grams of carbohydrates per day, and I thought that was good. I'm working out, I'm young, I'm active, I need 400 carbs a day. But I wasn't getting as lean as I wanted to look, and the appearance wasn't there. I was strong in the gym, I was doing okay, but it wasn't working as well as I thought it should work. Well, I cut my carbs in half, from 400 grams to 200 grams, through the recommendation of a friend. Now, I was going to try it for just like a week or so because I didn't know this is not going to work. I'm not going to starve myself, After 1 week, I noticed no decrease in energy level. My training intensity was not less. I looked better. I was losing that extra layer that I thought that I was kind of putting on. I couldn't take off. That extra layer was those carbs that I was storing. Now, if I was eating 200 carbs a day and functioning well and at optimum, then what was the other 200 carbs I was eating per day going? See, if I only needed 200, and if I was taking in 400, those other 200s are being stored as fat, and that's where those layers come in. That extra carbs that you eat, that you can't get rid of. We love carbs. That made the difference. Now, carbs give you a sense of satisfaction when you eat them. We love carbs. We love the breads, the pastas, the beans, potatoes, yams, all that stuff. Those carbs feel good. When you eat a big meal and you're satisfied and you feel like you can take a nap, it's the carbs. They convert to sugar, and nothing makes you feel as good as a plate of carbs. Now you can eat a plate of proteins like meats or soy or certain protein sources, and you can eat vegetables a lot. And I guarantee, if as much as you can get stuffed, but you won't have that feeling of just like you want to, just that tired feeling that you eat when you eat a lot of carbs. You just feel like you're just drowsy. You will not get that feeling except for adding the carbs. Okay, so you get the idea, right? You got the carbs are the culprit on your plate. Cut back the carbs. And when I'm talking about carbs, I'm talking about starchy carbs. And starchy carbs are things like rice, beans, yams, potatoes, pasta, bread, corn, what else are there? Grits. A lot of those things, starchy carbs. Now, fibrous carbs are vegetables like broccoli. You can have a lot of these. Broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, zucchini, squash, things like that. Those are fibrous carbs. You can have those, and all the lettuce like that. You can have as much of those as you like. So, and last one, the tip for losing those 10 pounds is turn up the intensity of your workouts. Turn up the intensity. Now, it's important to do that because your body, when you work out, goes through a process like water boils at a certain temperature, 212 degrees. Water boils at 212 degrees. At 211 degrees, you have very hot water, but not boiling water. Now, why is that important? Because at 211 degrees, you haven't reached that point of transition. See, at 212 degrees, when water starts boiling, it transitions from water to a vapor state. Now it goes from water to steam. And that steam is where the power is produced. That transition, when it goes from water to steam at 212 degrees, it transforms. And now steam, as you know, is more, you can steam clean an engine. You can drive an engine with steam. Steam is more powerful than water itself. But you can't get steam unless you go through that point of transition, 212 degrees. So if you're training at 211 degrees, or 210 degrees, or 200 degrees, and you're thinking just if I just stay at 200, it works. No, there's a certain transition that happens when you up your intensity level. If you get to a certain level of intensity, suddenly the chemical changes that needs to happen in your body starts happening, and boom, a breakthrough. Because you went to that level of intensity needed to make progress happen. If you're training below that level of intensity, below that threshold, you'll make progress. But to get to that real goal-setting next level progress, you've got to up the intensity. And another way to do that is, again, training with someone who either knows how to train at that level of intensity or get with a personal trainer. Because when I get with people and they want me to train them, I'll see what they're doing and I kind of listen, watch their routines. Okay, that's good. All right. And then I'll start selecting their weights for them, or I select the distance or a number of reps. And immediately they start thinking, oh, that's too much. I can't do that much. In other words, they're measuring against their previous level of intensity. When I put them at the level of intensity that they need to make progress, to them it's overwhelming. But I'm telling you, trust me, you can do this. And when they start relying on me and having faith that I'm pushing them for their good, suddenly they do it. And they go, that wasn't bad. And they really up to another level. And what happens after that? They start noticing the changes. Their body starts changing. But they couldn't push themselves to that level by themselves. They needed someone to show them where that level of intensity is needed or get to that themselves. And it's hard to do it by yourself. So there it is, ways to up that level of intensity and lose that last 10 pounds. So I'm going to recap real quickly. I got it notes down here. First one, know that it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult, but I already know that even though it's tough, you're tougher. You're going to make it through this. Hold yourself accountable. Give yourself a deadline. I got to do this by a certain point, and then hold true to that. Even get with a partner and make sure that you're accountable. Your first day at the beach, make it a deadline. Don't trust your scale. Sometimes we think that we need to lose weight and we really have lost the inches that we want. So decide that your scale is not the main way that you're going to measure progress. So you may not need to lose 10 pounds. You may only need to lose a couple of pounds to get to your goal. Hire a personal trainer. If you don't have one, clean up your diet. That means cutting out all of the junk foods that you may be kind of still having a few. You call them cheat foods. Cut out those cheat meals and those cheat foods. Limit your carbs. And then up the intensity of your training. I think if you did that, I think if you allowed yourself to have that option, you'll make it. You'll get there. All right? So that's it. Losing that last 10 pounds. I hope this was helpful for you. Give me a thumbs up. I can't read your comments. I've been seeing some comments coming through, but if you got comments or something else that you'd like for me to cover, I'll be glad to cover it for you. That's why I'm here. I'm here for you. So make this an awesome day for whatever you're doing the rest of your day. All right? Talk to you soon, guys. Bye.